Hey there, guys and goddesses. Just got done with my work day. Sorry I'm a little bit late. I had a little technical difficulties. Had to make sure the phone was charged up. That was the issue with last time. Phone got a little hot last time we were doing that work. I had to go and work, conduct some business. Um, we were touching on where's home. Back in our home space. Nice clear nights. Got the balcony door open. Then the rest of that sun shining. It's a little too hot to go out there right now to sit out there and have this nice conversation. So we're gonna do it from the home instead. Um, Looking at where's home. We were touching on this little quick recap for people that didn't get the first video. Please go back, see the first video, share the first video, love the first video. We don't do likes around here. All we do is pass and share love. And that also helped me get more in tune and get more personal with the topics, and we can start digging deeper within ourselves, getting deeper and deeper into ourselves until we unlock the greatest potential. Through our greatest fears, our greatest potential. Our greatest fear in this case is our ego and what we are holding on to, what was in our past self, our older self, our lower self, and our lower chakras to our higher chakras. We're getting to our heart now. We got to get into that state of knowing, but we got to get through those. We got to get through our root. We got to get to the root of the source of where we started, to how we survived, getting up into our solar plexus rather than to that sun, rather than to our higher self. Then we got to get into our heart, and we got to get our home in order. That's very important to get our home in order, most importantly. Touched on a couple key focuses, couple key mantras, talking about the disciplines and the things that happen to us in our lives, and why we have to show to gain more discipline, or we have to put more discipline into getting our home in order. Another thing I wanted to touch on, I was thinking about it while I was at work, was everything that is around you is fuel. As you start coming higher and higher to yourself, the spaces that you are going into, as you start to love yourself and you start to show your love, and you start to fill your cup up with love, so to speak, the next level, every time you step into a space, you become the blessing. So every time you go around and you're in that higher frequency of self, you're the blessing. So anything that is lower on a lower vibration is going to try to pull you down to a space you already evolved from. See, when that gap is created, when we talked about that gap earlier, when that gap is created, those breadcrumbs are meant for the ones that were scared to take the jump. One thing about this encompassing and us getting back to ourselves, everybody's going, we as guys and goddesses, as strong black kings and strong black queens, are going to go into the same place. But somebody can open the door. So if these messages are hitting you and they're resonating with you, congratulations. You're the one that's going to open that door. You're the one that's going to open that space. Because somebody has to take the jump. Somebody has to take the dive first in order to be that example, to leave those breadcrumbs. Your greatest purpose is being and leading by the example of the better you. Putting yourself in the highest you of yourself. Looking up at that sun, looking up at that sky every single day like, I'm blessed, I'm great. I'm the best that I ever have been, the best that I ever could think I could be. And then using that and cultivating that soil that you plant those seeds first into yourself, and germinating and bearing fruit, and then be able to enjoy the fruits of your labor. That's the main point where's home? We spend hours upon hours of a day, of a week, to pay basically for overglorified storage. Remember when I said empty mind, full house, empty mind? That's more along the lines what that means. We get so used to the substance, or actually the lack thereof of substance, and we're filling these blocks in these spaces in our mind, these spaces around us. We end up filling them with materials, material objects, material possessions, just to feel like we had something. So we never had something before. Now we having it now. Greatest feeling on, I got the nice car. I got all the J's in my closet. I still got all my Timbs in the closet. I got all the jerseys. You have all these things. Girl, I got all the heels. Got all the red bottoms, all I want. At the end of the day, 5, 6 months. You ain't even got to go in the years 5, 6 months from now. Now you're gonna spend another $300-$400 on what? What are you investing into? That's another important thing about where's home. Home is where you invest the most into. So where's home? For you. What are you investing into? Are you investing into are you constantly investing into yourself to go forward so that return on that investment is greater than when it started? Or are you simply investing into the sustainment of where you're at right now? That's a big one right there. Are you gonna sit here and still work 2, 3 jobs? And the only excuse you have for yourself, you saying you working 2, 3 jobs, is like, man, I gotta get what I want to get. So you working 2, 3 jobs for, let's say, 5 years. You working 2, 3 jobs, 40 hours each. Let's say you working 30 at one job, 30 at another job, and 10 at another job. So that's what, 70 hours a week? Let's say you get paid every week. It's usually almost impossible to get all the days off to get a day off at all those jobs at the same time. Because you got to work damn near 7 days out the week. For what? You working almost 70 hours a week at a job just to say, I put in work and I hustle. But you leave no time for yourself. You basically go home to look at all the nice things that you purchased and then go right back to work. And then when you do get time off, you're spending half of that time trying to get some rest. The other half of the time to go pay all money on those bills you're accumulating. But you never take time for true self. So is it a home or is it a dwelling? A dwelling is somewhere where you dwell in the desires and the lust of the material world. A home is where your heart is. The truest essence of love tears us down to unlock and break us away from things that no longer serve us purpose, the more we try to understand it. So even in that mindset, you give your life, you sacrifice your life, your light, your energy, your power to others, and you don't even get a fraction of the money that you helped them make. Meanwhile, that friend that went ghost over a year ago shows up on the scene, got that new car they wanted, got the new home they wanted. They seem like everything is in abundance. Then you say, dang, must be nice. It is nice. It's great. It's gracious. Even in that point right there, you've been thinking about getting better too. So when the people come around us that are doing good, that are truly doing good in their own light, they starting to create for their own selves, celebrate them. Because guess what? Now you're in line. You're in line with the energy for your manifestation. It only takes one person to come in your life and change everything. One person can come into your life right now. You can be looking at this video right now, and you could have heard this a million times before. You could have heard these messages a million times before. But since your truest self is ready, now the message is resonating with you. All I can put out is truth and love. All I can come from my beautiful daughter to give you the most beautiful magnified light. That's all I can ever do. It took me a while to learn this. It took me a while to get onto this path. I've always been this way in increments and good intention. But I didn't understand the power that I once wielded. But now that I'm in the mindset and I'm thinking about the power that I wield, it's way different from me now. It's a whole different world is opened up to me now. It is not a whole different world. It's my world is opened up to me. The way I look at things is different. The way I value things, the way I give my attention. I set the balances in my emotional account and I budget it out accordingly. That's what it means by where it's home and it's your home in order. There's things that the first thing we'll look at these little messages on Facebook talk about toxic people. And I posted a couple posts on Facebook, Instagram about toxicity. But then I wanted to get even realer with it. And I was like, sometimes a toxic person can be you. Sometimes the toxic energy inside your home is you. Your old thought processes, how you feel about a person from 10, 12 years ago that's probably forgot about you. Or it's probably in a worse space than they were before. Or even if they're in a better space, why are you still upset with them? What are you holding on to it for? The only thing you can control is your reaction. So if I can sit here and be upset with somebody from 6, 7 years ago about something they did 6, 7 years ago, I didn't die. I'm still living. Therefore, why would I put my energy into something that existed so long ago? What are you holding on to? Sometimes the things that we hold on to are the things that are going to hurt us the most. That's the stuff we got to let go. How we survive is detrimental to how we are going to rise. If you used to working 2, 3 jobs, if you used to every single time you get paid, you go to the same bar, you go to the same club, you go to the same little venues to go relax and chill out, and you've been doing this for the last 6, 7 years, all you've seen is the same exact people, and if not the same exact people, the same type of people, and they just look older and they look even worse, and they talking about the same exact thing. Congratulations, you have quantum leaped yourself into a vibration that is lower than where you can go. The only way you're going to get to the best of yourself is raising your vibration. We need people around us that are ahead of us. We need people around us that seem to be out of our league. We need people around us that can teach us. If you're around the same people, I remember listening to when that song came out, No New Friends, and every time a song comes out, I talk about No New Friends. In one aspect, on one side of the polarity, we'll get into polarity a lot later in more and more videos when we get further and further along. Yeah. I used to think no new friends. But then I was thinking, if I have no new friends, at least the people that are around me that I knew from 5, 6 years ago, even a year ago, they don't gravitate toward me no more because I'm in a different space. The person I was then, the home that I was had then, the dwelling that I was in then, isn't substantial for them now. So I can't be in that space. So they don't come around. I don't need the things that I needed. I don't desire the decorations that were in that house. I had to let it go. The biggest thing, the hardest thing for us a lot of the times is letting go. And the reason it's so hard to let go because we're afraid of, I'll have nothing. You have over 6,000 cells in your body right now. All of them are all about you. Within you, within your DNA, are the memories of every ancestor before you and elder that is passed on. That's inside you. So how are you ever alone? You're only alone because you think that you're alone. Because we've been psychologically programmed to think that we need to be around a bunch of people. We need to be around a bunch of things that no longer serve us. The old you doesn't exist. The old you can't exist on in this parallel anymore. Hey, Tanika. Welcome to the discussion. I hope you watched the first video and liked and shared that one. We're just going a little bit deeper, recapping on what's home. But we got to put ourselves into a thought process of how we're going to get better. The definition of insanity is to repeat the same actions expecting a different result. So if you keep showing up to the party as the same person, you're going to come to the same party. So how are you rising? How are you growing yourself? What are you setting an intention for in yourself? It's only hard if you set it to be hard. We got to start reprogramming our mind and bringing it into our subconscious. Because remember, our subconscious records everything that we ever think, everything that we say or do. So basically, in tandem, our ego protects us from anything that's outside of the paradigm of a program that's inside of our mind. So if you thinking that I can never go here, I can never go there in my life, your mindset and your intention is going to be stuck there. Everything that's going to come around you is going to help you stay where you're saying you wanted to be at. So where do you want to be in life? Who do you want to be? I had a conversation with one of my newer coworkers at work, and they were like, they aspired to be a cruise line chef. I was like, I want to own a cruise line. Nah, I don't want to do nothing too big like that. I was like, why? She couldn't give me an answer. See, sometimes we don't like to be challenged. That's that by itself. I love to be challenged. I love to be uncomfortable. I put myself in positions, I put myself in healthy situations that make me feel the most uncomfortable because that shows that I need to grow. I remember my first time going into my journey and becoming vegan. Yes, I like it. I don't even need it. Some of the things that we get used to will stifle our own abundance. Exactly, we're afraid of success. But through our great, you got to remember through our great. I'm gonna probably say that through almost every other video. Through our greatest potential, through our greatest fear is our greatest potential. It's because we're not used to seeing. We don't have many examples, and the examples that we have, we're still stuck somewhere in our mind or in our subconscious, locked in our mind. Like that was then, this is now. Exactly, that was then, this is now. The things that they didn't have back then and they made it to where they needed to make it to, think about what we have now. We have all the tools that we need around us and don't even use them. Something as small as your cell phone, you're on your cell phone every single day. Snapchatting it up, Facebooking, Instagram, going live, loving all fight videos and all these lower vibrational things that distract you from yourself. And then you go turn on the TV and they'll tell you about surviving R. Kelly or this and that and that. All those are distractions. Those are distractions that take us away from creating our own narrative. So that comes into your home. So that's the thought process in your home. But what we need to start doing, we need to get back to our critical thinking, our critical thought. So when we see things that are supposed to be used as a distraction, we turn it on its ear. And that's how we regain our power. Here's how we regain our power in a lot of things. This is a little tough. This is a subject. When you're talking about surviving R. Kelly, we all knew from the beginning that R. Kelly liked young girls. That's a physical manifestation in the public eye created by outside of us of something that we don't talk about. That's happening in our homes. Sorry, I had to walk around switch spots in my house. We have to learn to control our narrative. And that's the biggest part when it comes to where's home and where's your heart is, where your home and home is where the heart is. We got to start controlling our own narrative. That is the most imperative part to your journey, is learning to cultivate and reprogram and reposition your mindset into your narrative, into your story. Everything that was around us is our history. Everything, all this knowledge that we gather, you can be in a million different pages, Nietzsche's Network, I Am Woke, Millionaire. There's a whole bunch. There's several different ones on Facebook alone. But when I go into a lot of these pages, there's no real time energy. It's always we're still stuck on that fundamental value of what we were. Yeah, we were that. We still are that. So there is no were. We still are. We just lost the connection to it. And as long as we keep setting our mindset to we were, we'll always continue to be in the past. We'll never move forward in the future. Biggest enemy is you. There's nothing outside. No enemy can attack from outside of you if there's an enemy within. So if something is coming at you constantly and you saying it's oppressing you and keeping you down, somewhere inside you, you feel oppressed and down. Why? And then we get into a state of depression. Depression ain't nothing but your higher self saying, I'm tired of playing this game of playing this role of what you want me to be. That's all depression is. It's a constant battle inside of your mindset. How long are we going to keep acting like this person over here? How long are we going to keep acting like we like these people? How long are we going to keep acting like we like this job? How long are we going to be in our survival mindset? How long are we going to keep being sheep instead of becoming wolves? How long are we going to be in this mindset of I'm a real nigga, I'm a bad bitch? How long are we going to keep that mantra in our minds? How long? How long are we going to keep that at home base? How long are we going to keep our narrative controlled by others. Because nobody can control your narrative but you. The minute you sit here and say glory to something else outside of you, congratulations, they have your power. Now what you gonna do? Now you're gonna be going to them for everything. You gotta start changing your mindset. One thing to change your mindset, if you're working a 9 to 5, for every hour that you give them, I said this the other day, for every hour you give them, give 2 hours to yourself, to what you want to do, your craft, honing in on your craft. Every time you go to your job, it is a blessing for you to be there. We gotta remove that mantra of like, I need this job. No, this job needs me. They will never be they can replace the body, but they can never replace my work. That's the kind of confidence we need when we walk into these buildings, when we walk into these places. I can almost guarantee you, as soon as you start changing your mindset like that, everything else falls into place. When you walk into a space, you wake up in the morning and you look in that mirror, this world need me to survive, but I'm passing it on. It was something I thought about the other day also when I talk about where it's home. And I started thinking about, somebody said something about appropriation and how a lot of other races and places appropriate our culture, but they don't like us. And it's true. But let's go deeper. The things that they appropriate are usually the things that have become the stereotypes of us. So if that's true, they can have it. They love us so much, let them have it. If they want to keep the real nigga mantra, the bad bitch mantra, let them keep it. I'm sorry, I'm a god over here. I'm a king over here. I'm a titan over here. I'm high over here. I'm an alchemist over here. I'm higher than what they want me to be. How real are you if your image of what you're saying is real is shown on TV? And we all know the only thing that's in the media is what they will accept or what they see you as. So if you're walking around portraying yourself as a real nigga and they show that on television, you're following the program and the narrative of somebody else. That's why you don't see images of kings. And when they do, the only images you ever seen of kings on TV when they did Coming to America, that was a narrative we didn't control. So they controlled it based on their image of what they wanted to see. Even when you come up to words of Black Panther and they tried to twist it on its head and made what Killmonger's thought process bad, when in the end, I mean, T'Challa ended up listening to what he said and carried on. Killmonger's message lived through T'Challa in a way. He customized it to himself. That's what it is about controlling our narrative. So where's home for you? What hits home for you? What makes you better? What makes you stronger? What's going to take you to the next level? The biggest thing about what's going to take you to the next level is it's going to show you a reflection of yourself that you did not want to see. It's going to show you the darkest and the scariest parts of yourself. Parts that have been locked away and you didn't want to see. But here's the thing about that. This is the thing I never really understood about a lot of these rehab programs and little self-help programs. For the ones they help, they help. For the ones they don't, there might be a reason why. There's piety. Biggest thing between coming into the spiritual center of myself and coming to the spiritual energy, as opposed to going into the binding or the bounding of what religion actually means, is it teaches you to stray away from something instead of trying to understand the why of it in the first place. So if you like to turn that bottle to your head, what images did you see before that led you to it? You see, the more we try to stay away from something, You either grow into what you hate or what you grow into what you love. Prime example, most of the people that walk around with the most hatred in their heart towards you, something around them will emulate you, will emulate your entire energy, and they'll hate it. Oh my God, I hate it. I hate it. I can't deal with it. I hate them so much. Fear and hatred are from lack of understanding or wanting to understand something. So do you hate yourself? Who taught you how to hate yourself? Why do you hate yourself? Or do you love yourself? See, when you love yourself, the parameters and the paradigm shifts because everything is going to come outward. Everything. And it's going to hurt. That's where that alone time comes from when you're in your home and you getting your heart in order. I already told you there's no such thing as time, it's only alignment. So the minute that you say you're ready to change, you're ready to get better, guess what's going to happen? Similar to a bruise, it's going to look worse before it gets better. And it has to be that way because the most traumatic events, that activates our truest self. Whenever you're down and out and you're down in that bottom, you're down in that horrible time of yourself and you down and out, that's when your truest self comes out. That's when your truest thoughts always want to come out. That's when your truest ideals come out. That's when your truest mind, that's when everything, the truth of you comes out. And also, in reflection, everybody around you, their truth starts to show. So the truest people come around you at that time. So if you're sitting there and you're like, yo, I don't think I can do this in my life. That's when the knuckleheads going to come around and be like, hey man, go smoke this with me. Come take a drink. You've been trying to stay back from drinking because you know where it takes you. You've been trying to stay back from smoking because you know where it takes you. Look at the people that are saying this to you. You will never be criticized by people doing more than you. You will only be criticized by people doing less than you. You will never be judged by people doing more than you. You will only be judged by people doing less than you. You will only ever be challenged in positive lights by people that are doing more than you and that want to see the best for you. You're criticized by the ones that are lower and you're always challenged by the ones that are higher. People that want the best for you in true intent are going to push you the hardest. They're probably going to make you the maddest. That starts with you in the mirror. We're our own biggest judge. We're our own worst enemy. When I look in the mirror every single morning, I know that I'm great. I know the things that I need to work on, the things that I've been working on, my daily disciplines, and I continue to push those. So everything that comes around me will become a reflection of that. So anyone that is around me, I'm going to push. One key aspect of it is, for me, is I used to think, dang, I wish I had somebody to tell me these types of things. But then I remember, I look back. I remember those conversations with my grandmother before she passed when I was little. I remember those conversations. I remember those messages that resonated me from different people that came around me in my travels. Even though I didn't like that person per se, based on the perception of what that person was, I started looking at those messages. Don't hate the message. Love the message. You ain't got to embrace the message or embrace the message. I can listen to anyone from the thing about taking yourself out of that left-handed way of thinking to your left-handed way of thinking will have you stuck on one path that fits and cultivates everything that comes onto that path that fits where you're going or fits where you're at, you're going to stay with. That's ego. On your right-handed way of thinking, it's going to have you sitting there absorbing information from everywhere. Remember, everything is everything. Everything is energy. Everything is fuel. How are you using that fuel? Everything is going to fuel you, but where you control the destination. Everything is the fuel, but you control the destination. So some of the most negative things can happen to you in your life, but they can take you to your most positive spaces because you control the destination. That's when you got to get into that mindset of not why, but what is this teaching me? The more and more serious you get about yourself, the more and more serious the universe gets about you. It's going to keep aligning you. The more and more you keep getting serious with yourself, it's going to keep aligning you with the things you need. Everything you need is going to come right to you. All you got to do is put in the work. Are you scared to put in the work? That's the fear. That's that fear of success. I refuse to be fear to be not to be successful. I refuse. I'm running around here doing a million other things that I thought I never could do before. My biggest thing was public speaking. Until I started diving into the knowledge and gaining into the knowledge of Kemet and the Sumerian text and a lot of texts and the different other researches that I do on the daily. And I was like, what am I scared of? Am I scared that my message won't be heard? And then it hit me. I'm not here to convince anybody else of what I need them to commit. I'm not here to convince anybody. If you tune in and you resonate to the message, congratulations, you're on the frequency. Now we're going to rise. It's detrimental to a person that's not ready. They will always feel attacked whenever they hear information. Whenever they hear the most bluntful, honest truth from somebody, they'll always feel attacked until they're ready. All you can do is plant the seed. And you remember, you can't eat from the seed. You can't eat from a plant that you just planted. It hasn't bared the fruit yet. Let that seed hit there. Allow that person their space. Get your home in order first. Get your space in order first. No problem, no problem. But you got to take yourself to higher levels through your greatest fears. You got to climb. Where's the fear at? Where's home for you? It gets deeper. As we keep going down this rabbit hole, we are going to expose our deepest depths of ourselves and take ourselves to our highest heights. We got to go back into the dark. We got to stop this, sustaining this little light of mine and letting it shine and get back into that dark. We got to go through that dark. We got to go through that soil. We got to recultivate in order to rise to our highest potential. So, where's home? Home is where the heart is. Where's your heart? Is your heart as light as a feather? Where's your mind at? Are you coming from thinking or knowing? Are you being led by your ego, or are you starving your ego daily to rise to your highest self? So much stuff. So many things. So many different avenues that we can reach. So many heights that are on the horizon for us. Only a few of us are going to make it. Of course. But we can't be worried about other people's homes if our home isn't in order. We can't be worried about what other people are doing in their house if our house is in disarray. You can't put your best foot forward and put your heart into anything or anyone if your heart isn't healed. And I'm not saying, let me clear that right there. I'm not saying that you cannot be what's around people and heal. I'm not saying that. But make sure the people that are around you are going to aid in your healing and not hindering your suffering. I love y'all. Let's rise.